Welcome, everyone. My name is Paul Dow. We are part of the IHE Cardiology domain, and this is our annual webinar series for 2018. Thank you very much for sharing a few moments of your day with us. We're going to have a brief agenda here, do some introductions of our illustrious domain, go through the overview of our work for the past year and the future, discuss the profiles that we've been working on hard each week and each face-to-face meeting, and then the future of the cardiology domain, and then open it up to questions. So first off, I'd like to introduce the cardiology domain. We have the co-chairs of the planning committee, Dr. Jerry Serwer from the University of Michigan and Dr. David Slotwiner from Weill Cornell Medical College. Our co-chairs of the technical committee, Nick Gawrit from Heartbase and Chris Milo from Philips Healthcare. And the other contributors to this presentation and contributors to the domain, Rebecca Baker, my colleague at the American College of Cardiology, Shinichi Nakano from Canon Medical and his colleague, Takeshi Oozeki, Charles Thomas from the University of Washington, and my name, Paul Dow, from the American College of Cardiology. What I'd like to do now is hand it over to Dr. David Slotwiner to discuss the domain overview. David, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Paul. So this slide, the image here is taken from the publication below, which I would strongly encourage anyone with an interest in learning more about the cardiology domain and IHE in general to refer to. The image, which is detailed, and I won't go into detail right now, really gives a nice overview, I think, of the purpose of the cardiology domain as well as the strategy for how we approach developing interoperability profiles. And over the next few slides, I'll cover in detail what is on this graph or page. Next slide, Paul. So in today's cardiology practice, we are challenged by enormous amounts of data. Both inpatient and outpatient settings are commonly the domain of cardiologists and the associated practitioners. And our specialty is heavily procedure-oriented, both with diagnostic and interventional procedures. And there are many different individuals who are involved in both using this data and acquiring it, ranging from clinicians to physician clinicians to nursing extenders, technicians, medical assistants, anesthesiologists, and then there are many non-clinicians as well, such as our administrators, billers, regulatory agencies. And there are huge data sets that live in different silos. Just the inpatient and outpatient electronic records, for example, are usually different and don't usually communicate. And numerous reports have to be generated from the same data often, such as the pre-procedure report, the anesthesia record, nursing records, procedure reports, operative reports, post-procedure reports, discharge reports, and letters to referring physicians, and patient letters and instructions. And so I know that people listening to this will appreciate how much duplication of work we all are involved in. Next slide, Paul. And what we really want is for data to flow seamlessly across these different settings in which we work, not only physical settings, but also electronic settings. We want to avoid entering data multiple times. We would like to have the data that we entered in the office populate the pre-procedure report in the hospital, then go to the anesthesia report, then go to our report, and ultimately the data that we acquire during the procedure, we would like to go to the procedure report, to the discharge report, and to the office and to the referring doctors without generating multiple different reports. And the report consumers you see here, just to list a few, are the electronic health records, the health information exchange, payers, regulatory agencies, registries, patients, and, oh yes, clinicians as well. We need it too. Next slide, Paul. Now, there's no shortage of data standards in the cardiovascular domain. There, of course, are many standards that we use in HL7 and DICOM. We have quite a bit of detailed nomenclature, although we can always use more. And these are critical building blocks for interoperability, but they don't make the data move, and that's where IHE comes in. Being able to share these data across different settings is the goal. And here on the right-hand side, you see a few of the IHE domains. Next slide. Cardiology, of course, is a big financial driver of most healthcare systems, and so return on investment is critical for our existence and continued ability to grow and provide first-rate care for our patients. And so we always need to look at improving efficiency and reducing costs, while at the same time meeting the very complex needs of our sick patients. Quality improvement initiatives are always important, and accreditation is becoming an increasing reality for all centers across the United States. And we need to be able to respond rapidly with our vendors to new patient needs. So we need data structured reports, and we need to be able to meet new regulatory requirements as well. Next slide, Paul. And so all of these needs speak to the importance of standardization. Standardization of data models, standardization of nomenclatures, of workflow, structured reporting, so that we can all have semantic and syntactic interoperability. Next slide. What we need to avoid are proprietary systems that don't share data with other systems that would result in duplicative data entry and sometimes duplicative testing, manual entry, which is fraught with error, and we don't want to reinvent the wheel with proprietary systems that are competing. And so standardization is the key to interoperability. Next slide. Below is a link to some of the I think all of the cardiology domains, and the goal really is bidirectional communication of granular structured data to reduce the need to enter and re-enter data and to improve efficiency and safety. All of this requires professionals working with industry and policymakers, and over the next slides I think you'll see more how the domain actually works. But I encourage all of you to click on the links below, and the reference to our overview paper on the first slide that I presented also I think is a terrific summary. So Paul, I'll hand it back to you.